Today's review is the 1983 TV version of Phantom of the Opera, starring Maximilian, Schell and Jane Seymour. No, not that one, this one. I used to think this version was pretty good, but on watching it again recently, I found there's an awful lot of garbage in it. The best thing about this movie is the Phantom himself. It's one of the best portrayals I've ever seen. Maximilian Schell does a downright creepy interpretation. Unlike other phantoms, this one isn't just confined to haunting the opera house. Oh no, he ventures into the outside world and stalks his victims. Look at that! Imagine if you saw that face peering in through your window. I'd soil my cloak if I saw that. The masks he wears are creepy as hell.
The mask frightens you.
And listen to that voice.
The mask protects you.
A fantastic phantom voice he has. It's really the stuff of nightmares.
Listen to this voice. It can be yours.
He also has quite an unhinged element to him, which I like a lot.
You see.
So basically, the Phantom character is great, the rest of the film isn't. Like most other versions, this movie totally ignores the Gaston Leroux novel and creates its own story. In fact, it's so far removed from the original story that they don't even give Leroux any reference in the credits. Yet, bizarrely, it's the only version that features lines taken direct from the book, like in this unmasking sequence.
You wanted to see it. See it!
The new story is set in Budapest at the turn of the 20th century. Max plays this guy called Sandor Corvin, who is a conductor. His wife, Elena, is a nervous opera singer awaiting her grand debut at the opera house. However, a jealous baron pays for audience members to boo her, and for a critic to write a scathing review. Maria is so depressed she drowns herself. Corvin sets out on his revenge and confronts the critic who wrote the bad review. Then there is the obligatory ridiculous scarring by acid sequence. Why does a music reviewer have a bottle of opened acid on top of his bureau? Is it to feed his acid tongue? Stupid. And when it's knocked over, why does Corvin seem to be staying under it on purpose, just to make sure it goes all over his face? I mean, wouldn't you, I don't know, get out of the way? Another weird thing is this guy. It's a mute assistant to the Phantom, who seems to be inspired by the dwarf character from the Herbert Lamb version. However, he's never explained. Why does he hang around listening to events? Why does he help Corvin hide, and why doesn't he tell anyone he's there? Who is he, anyway? 4 years later, Corvin hears the voice of Maria, who is played by Jane Seymour, who also played Elena earlier on, so obviously they look and sound the same, leading Corvin to believe that the girl is Elena back from the dead, or reincarnated, or whatever.
Elena.
Actually, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know much about the reincarnation belief, but I would have thought that if the soul of Elena was supposed to be reincarnated, wouldn't it go to a newborn baby? Well, if so, how come Maria's an adult and it's only 4 years later? Either Corvin's just lost the plot, or the scriptwriters have.
Oh, rubbish.
So Corvin offers to teach Maria to sing and gives her the keys to a nearby house where she's tutored by him. The house is full of photos of his dead wife and her old dresses. Now, I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that this house belonged to Corvin before he was scarred by acid. So it begs the question, if Corvin still has access to his old house, why is he living in a stinking sewer with his creepy dwarf buddy? In fact, he would have been better off in the house, because his secret hideout isn't all that secret. In this scene, he walks out the room and into this area, where there are loads of random beggars sitting around. My main problem with this film is that there isn't really anyone to identify with or like. It probably doesn't help that everyone goes around intoning in this heavy European accent.
Asked only for the pleasure of a young mistress.
I guess you're supposed to side with Christine, but she comes across as really cocky and career-driven and bitchy. Like here in her audition, she puts her friend, who is a weaker singer, in front of her to make herself sound better. And as for Raoul, well, nobody really likes Raoul in any version, but here he's particularly obnoxious. This time he's an English director, played by Michael York, who's either sucking up to whoever is the star of the moment or shouting at them.
Get off my stage until you learn how to perform.
He also has some atrocious lines to say.
Aren't you a little chilly?
No?
Oh, I thought you might be with, all that naked ambition showing.
He does get his comeuppance, however. There's a great little scene in a Turkish bath where Corvin throttles him half to death.
Leave the girl alone. What? I won't allow her to be distracted from her task.
And what's great about this is he actually listens and stops his romance with Maria.
No great directors
Although at the
without
end of the
great
film he
singers
suddenly changes his
performing
mind
for
and
them,
goes on a
and
rescue
one of them-
attempt. Make your mind up, man. This is one of the few versions to feature a masquerade ball, and Corvin has a great costume. I think it's pretty cool how he has a realistic mask while everyone else has a freakish mask. Nice touch. Anyway, he abducts Christine and the Baron and is about to kill him when he decides to let him go. This scene is very weird. The mute guy takes the Baron into his car and then he gets pecked to death. What the hell? Did Corvin train his bird to attack somehow?
You will peck him with your beak, my pet. Use your sharp claws and gouge him for me.
And how on earth can you die from a pecking by just one bird? If you had a whole heap of them in an enclosed space, like in Hitchcock's The Birds, then yeah, maybe. But you telling me this guy cannot grab hold of a single bird and smash its brains out on the carriage wall? The unmasking scene is very effective and quite close to LaRue. But the makeup doesn't make any sense. It's good makeup, apparently created by the late great Stan Winston, and quite similar to how the face is described in the book, like a corpse's death head. However, they seem to have forgotten that Corvin's face isn't deformed, but it's scarred by acid. This does not look like a burn. This looks like a deformity. Why can't they ever get it right? The ending of the film is pretty stupid. After the unmasking, Corvin leaves the lair to fake Maria's death and assigns the mute guy to watch her.
Watch her, Leos.
Big mistake. He promptly and conveniently falls asleep, like 2 seconds later. Maybe he's deaf as well as mute, Corvin just didn't realise. Or maybe he's just a dumbass. Anyway, Michael York suddenly shows up to rescue Maria, even though previously he didn't care about her, and takes her away. Then for some strange reason, Maria goes to watch Faust that evening, even though her rival is in the starring role, and that she's putting herself in danger to do so. In an extremely contrived way, she ends up swapping her seat so that she's sitting directly beneath the chandelier, which Corvin is trying to cut down. Why is he cutting it down? To kill himself? I guess so. When he sees Maria's beneath him, he tries to stop the fall, but it's too late. Then comes the longest slow-motion chandelier fall in history. And that's it, the end. Although I can't quite put my finger on why, this movie has a dreary feel to it. You can tell it's made for TV. The colour scheme's really bland and colourless, and the film just feels long. It's probably the only Phantom film where I felt bored before it had finished. I also think this is the only Phantom film that doesn't have great music. Although they use Faust, it seems to be the really boring part. There's some great music in Faust, so I'm not sure why they didn't make use of it to the full.
Oh, it's certainly a popular favourite, but hardly a work of genius. Just a few popular tunes concealing this tattered old drama about this miserable old man who sells his soul to the devil.
Oh, shut up, Michael York. Go and play with Austin Powers or something. So that's my review of the Maximilian Schell version. If you're a Phantom fan, definitely check it out because it has a very Phantom-y feel to it, but as a movie on its own, it's not that great. Thanks for watching and be sure to subscribe to Phantom Reviews, where next time I will be reviewing the Herbert Lom version.
Take off that ridiculous mask when you speak to me. Do you hear me? Take it off!